Who are your parents?
Clay and Dwayne Pyeatte. Well, Daddy was born here in Cane Hill. Mother was born to Clyde. He was a plumber, but he farmed too. I mean, he milked cows. We had cows, chickens. I mean, small amount of chickens. 25 or 30 laying hens. And we milked 5 or 6 cows most of the time. About the time I started the school, we moved over there below the cemetery where I live now. No, I was the only child. I started in '45. When I started the school, they had 12 grades. But then by the time I was in the 4th or 5th grade, they consolidated with Lincoln, and they only had 6 grades. I went to 6 grades at Lincoln, and then I went to, at Cane Hill, and then I went to Lincoln for the last 6. Well, I remember when I first started, the lunchroom was over there where John Mitchell lives now, and we didn't think it was a couple of 100 yards up over there, and we didn't think nothing about walking over there to eat. We always went to Shaker Yates' store. That was, at that time, that was the only store in town, was Shaker's store, and the store and the post office, and everything was all together. He sold groceries and feed. Well, Daddy there was always several people around, there was always men, and Daddy would loaf a little bit, like 30 minutes was a long time for him to loaf. And they'd tell stories and plan on things, and I always fed the chickens. That was one of my chores, and I'd help Daddy milk, or feed hay at the cows. And back then, kids worked right along with their fathers. They didn't. They didn't sit in the house and play on the computer. Yes. Usually the boys worked outside and helped their parents, their dads, and the girls stayed in and helped their moms. Seemed like they sat around and talked a lot. And they played some rook, and that rook was a big game. At one time they had rook parties at the college building, the school. I was just a big kid. I wasn't big enough to play. Well, there wasn't hardly any kids lived right here in town. The women talked on the phone more because the men was always out working, and you didn't have a cell phone, and you didn't talk to people like you do now. I guess you did all your business you got to come to it. I don't seem like Daddy was always working, and if I was at home with Mom, we always had things to do. I always helped Mom quite a bit. You know, you did chores 7 days a week. Daddy would, after we got the chores done, Daddy would always usually kill a fried chicken and dress it. We'd have it for Sunday dinner. Daddy would always lay down and take a nap after dinner. Then we'd go down and spend about an hour with one set of grandparents, and then come back and spend about an hour with the other set of grandparents, and come home, and by that time it was time to start chores again.